to find a situation as happy as this, which was perhaps a poorer reflection on my previous two positions than praise for this one. Cook's mannerisms were harsh and the work grueling. I fell asleep every night before my head reached the pillow, and my hands were slowly turning to leather. But brief moments outside like this were small fortunes I could tuck away to help me through the long days. I knelt in the kitchen garden, the sun beating on my back and warming my skin through the coarse maid's gown I was required to wear. The uniform was a far cry from the lavish ball gowns and silk stockings I was accustomed to, but finery was worth sacrificing for a life I could call my own. I did not intend to remain a servant forever, just long enough to meet a man and carve out a future for myself of my own choosing. Though meeting men seemed increasingly difficult in this position, perhaps my goals would be better achieved were I to find a position as a shop girl or assistant, so long as it did not require sewing. My parents had spoiled any desire to claim a gentleman for a husband. In my experience, gentlemen were the very worst of creatures, and I would be much happier with a humble man. Hoofbeats pounded the hard-packed lane that ran alongside the garden. A dry stone wall separated me from the road, but still I bent away to avoid the cloud of dust that would soon billow in my direction. The gentleman atop the horse wore a decent set of finery, and a scowl marred his handsome face. Oh, dear heavens! A chill washed through me when my gaze fell upon his familiar countenance. I knew him. Either this man was Benedict Bradwell, or the sun had played a trick on me by assigning him the face of the last man in England I ever wanted to see again. A man I'd begun to call handsome, even. My brain deserved a scrubbing with soap for entertaining such a thought. His bored gaze dropped to me, and before I could fully dive behind the stone wall for cover, recognition lit his blue eyes. Drat! He'd seen me. I listened to the pounding of his horse's hooves fade down the road a bit, clutching the bucket tightly and hoping he would continue on his way. To my dismay, the horse slowed. I could hear Benedict turning about, but I could not face him. If he was to discover me, to confirm it was truly me he saw in the bedraggled maid's gown bent over a garden patch, he would surely drag me from my safe situation in Brumley and deposit me at my lecherous chaperone's house. Or worse, Benedict would take me home with him. I jumped to my feet and ran for the house, alarm lacing my stomach and lighting fire beneath my quick steps. Benedict called my name, which only made me run faster. I slammed into the kitchen, and Cook startled, looking up from where she was shaping dough into loaves. "We'll have none of that now," she said, scowling. "Of course, ma'am." My heart raced and my cheeks flushed. Surely Benedict would not follow me into the kitchen of a stranger's house. I moved to the corner of the work table and started peeling open the pods and separating the peas from the shells, my heart doing its utmost to beat directly out of my chest. The door rattled from a quick knock, and Cook looked at it with a questioning brow. He'd followed me. Panicked, I reached over the table while Cook's head was turned, took a fistful of flour and threw it over my face. I coughed. Gritty powder snuck into my nostrils, drying my skin, and I blinked away the excess from my eyes. I focused again on my task, separating the peas, keeping my gaze lowered. A heavy knock rattled the door again, and Cook bustled over to answer it. She swung it open and drew in a breath of surprise. I had to admit Benedict could strike a dashing figure when he so chose, but Cook's breathlessness felt disloyal all the same. "This isn't the main entrance, sir," she said, as though Benedict had come to call and mistaken our tiny door for the way into the house. I dropped my gaze to the peas in my ever-moving hands, willing him to leave. He did not obey my internal pleading, of course. Not that I would expect him to do anything I asked of him. "I am looking for Miss Northcott." His deep, calm voice rumbled through the room, driving prickles over the back of my neck. "Don't have anyone here by that name." Dear heavens, I was glad I'd thought to give my employers a false name. "Is that not her, right there?" Benedict must have gestured toward me, for I was the only other person present. "Miss Dorothy."